Hello, hello, hello. We are here. We're here to talk about Wanda Maximoff and the Multiverse of Madness. That is the right movie, isn't it?
Well, it was her show, to be honest.
It did feel that way. It did feel that way. I'm the Duke, joined here today by Mr. Cato. I don't know where the other one is. You can jump in at some point.
Yeah, he'll jump in, most likely.
When he gets here. Oh, he's here. 1 second.
He has to explain himself. Explain yourself.
Why are you late?
A little Wi-Fi issue.
Okay, he had a little Wi-Fi issue.
That's Wi-Fi.
Yeah. That's good for me. That is good for me. Great. So we've done introductions. So, firstly, I'm going to ask Mr. Cater, because Mr. Cater is a special guest.
Yes.
A few sentences, sir. What did you think of the Scarlet Witch and the Multiverse of Madness?
I thought about to say for David didn't want to hear my opinion.
I wanted some more light and make it a bit more brighter.
Mr. Cato, if he starts to aggress you or upset you in any way, let me know that I can just remove him from the stream.
Cool. Your question again? Sorry.
Just in a few sentences, sir, what did you think of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness?
Good solid film. Enjoyed it very much so. Got a slight issue because
it's very good, Davian.
No, good.
It's good to know what we're talking about this week. It makes a pleasant change.
It's taking you how many podcasts? Anyway, I've got issues with the film in terms of how the potential it could have been, due to trailers.
Okay,
and that's the thing. So can I might as well carry on, I guess.
Yep.
So everyone knows that the second trailer, it made the announcement of Professor X. Okay.
Now.
Classic tune. Yeah. So when that came out, I thought, okay, who else is going to be in this film? What other cameos are we going to have? Because there's been a lot of rumors about what cameos, who's there, who might not be there, who potentially could be there. As well as the fact that the introduction of Illuminati was a good one. I was happy with definitely Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt, Captain Marvel variant, and Captain Carter. But if you think back to the film, the way they longed up introducing Professor X, that was the big reveal. But we already knew that. So that's the issue. That if they did not say that, we will be whooping in the crowd. And potentially, and potentially the film could have made probably a little bit more. Because I got a feeling that it went downhill a bit in terms of viewers. Because everyone knows what's there. You hit word of mouth. No one said, "Oh my gosh, Deadpool's in there." You're like, what, really? Go on, and other people that are not Marvel fans go and see the film. So that was my issue, because I was telling people, look, the cameos. If it's got Professor X, who else? And thus,
I hear you. So I'm going to make a point. Oh, I'm getting an echo from one of you.
Is it me?
Echo. Okay, don't hear it now.
Okay.
I'm going to make a point, and Davey, you come in. Do you think maybe Dowdy booked himself into a corner, in the sense that maybe Mr. Cato thought he started to think about what he thought the movie should be, and then expected that and walked in there already expecting something which he'd imagined in his own brain, and then was disappointed? Or do you think, actually, no, he's got a valid criticism there?
You want me to respond now?
Yeah,
I'm asking.
That's why I done the sentence, and I said, yeah, respond.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had finished your sentence. You see, who's been the aggressor now? Yeah, who's been the aggressor?
Because it's 5 minutes in, you're already being a bit of a prick. So I'd suggest you just pipe down, behave yourself, or I'll remove you from the stream, sir.
Okay, I'll get my temperament under control, sir. Yeah, woosah. So, firstly, I I agree with what Mr. Cato said. Like, I was actually underwhelmed with the film. I think part of it also is based on which, again, Duke, we've been speaking about this in terms of the actual shows on Disney Plus, where they all start off pretty well, and then towards the end of it, it just slightly.
This is tickled. Apparently, that prick makes the. Apparently, you make the show. Apparently.
Thank you. Without me, without the P, there is no Davy.
So it's Davy
Prickman. Yeah, see?
We finally know what the P stands for.
Yeah, it could be interpreted for many ways, or the professor. But yeah,
it's just
I was slightly underwhelmed based on I thought this was actually going to be better than Spider-Man. And I actually thought Spider-Man was much better than this. Like, again, this had the potential where it could have just done so much more, but they didn't. And I get what you're saying about in terms of like spoilers, like, you know, in terms of, you know, oh, we knew Professor was going to be in there, but I can't really put too much blame on Marvel for that. Reason being is, if you're going to blame anyone, we have to blame technology. We're living in an age now where the minute anyone has an idea, they will go and Google and look, and there's speculations already. So even without that, there would have been that issue of people already putting out theories online. So, you know, if you're into these like we are, we would already had ideas that people were saying potentially this is going to be in there, that's going to be in there. So I think that's also part of that. But I was underwhelmed in the sense that I just thought that they could have done a lot more with the stories. Like, you know, it could have been, you know, I mean, this is phase 5 that they're going forward with. So they could have actually, oh, this is 4. Yeah, my bad, 4. You could have actually had an introduction, you know, like with Thanos, how we just got little snippets. We didn't know who, but we just know that there was a big baddie coming somewhere along the line. They could have done that, even if it was going to be Wanda or the Scarlet Witch. You could have done little snippets and not let us know, but you just reveal everything in one movie, and it just seemed a bit rushed. It's the same thing like I said about Moon Knight. I thought that they rushed the ending of Moon Knight in episode 6. I think it's the same with this. They actually rushed this as well because, like you said, they introduced Professor X, and it was the awesome Professor X, the one that we grew up on, you know, with the yellow hover wheelchair thing, you know, which was just awesome or whatever. And then just how it just ended from there with him, you know, I just thought, yeah.
The thing is also, if you didn't watch the Inhumans, you wouldn't have known that
Black Bolt.
Yeah, exactly. The actor that played Black Bolt in the Inhumans TV show was the same one they brought in.
Yeah, you had to tell me after this.
Yeah, because that Inhuman show was crap.
Well, I never watched the Inhumans. I just remember Black Bolt from actual X-Men and stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember him from like back in the day. So that's how I remember it. And it wasn't until when, even then, at first, I didn't remember it. And my recollection wasn't fully up to par with who he was. It wasn't until when Mr. Fantastic said, oh, if he opens his mouth. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember him now. He's the one who, if he speaks, literally, he just like destroys anything and everything. So that's when I actually like remembered. And then I was like, oh, Black Bolt. But I just thought it was just, they just rushed it. Even if she was going to be this all-powerful baddie, let it play out. You could have used that to actually, for the introduction of the X-Men, you know, she could have created all of these, and then we realized, oh, you know, over a few movies, you could have used that as a segue to bring in the full X-Men franchise, everything else, you know, just mutants in general, another aspect. But it's like they just rushed everything. We got to see too many Doctor Strange.
So, David, your echo's coming from your side, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you could just put a set of headphones in.
All right, let me go get headphones.
Okay.
Well, continuing.
Yep.
Maybe I don't think I put myself in or raise my expectations. Maybe I don't. I feel I didn't. But come from No Way Home,
Mhm.
and how that started and finished, and you got Doctor Strange. So basically, 2 films of Doctor Strange in, and this was the Multiverse of Madness. The talk is of cameos. Then obviously you had the little hints in the Shards of Glass with the posters. They mentioned the Illuminati. You had your chairs, though I think one of the chairs wasn't in use.
It was left vacant.
It was the vacant. Now, I also think that most of the cameos of the Illuminati was probably filmed separately.
Skills. Still getting that echo.
Oh, well, I'm gonna. If it's me, someone let us know.
1 second. Karen talking.
Yeah. So
I'm still getting that echo. It's not actually Davian.
it's probably me then.
1 second. Talk. Yeah, it's you, Dave, Dowdy. And we've lost Davian.
So
We've lost Davian.
Yeah. This has started off very well.
Yeah. Have you got headphones?
Yes, I have headphones. I have to go somewhere and get the headphones though. So I will continue.
Yeah, Karen talking, and then when Davey comes back.
So So if you're gonna have the Illuminati, you got the 7 chairs. Obviously, it looks like it was filmed. The cameras were filmed while everyone's not there. So maybe they actually filmed a bit more cameos. But I just going back to my initial question, my thoughts. If you're gonna have a multiverse of madness, or you're gonna have the multiverse, you got to see different universes.
Yes.
Some characters in those universes. Yep. So
really? No.
Still speaking without moving your lips. Wow.
This is turned into a very strange stream. Like
Very
a Doctor Strange stream.
Yeah. It's a day job, mate. So if like I said, if you're gonna have multiverses, you're gonna have cameos, you're gonna have characters from said universe, as well as smashing through different universes and seeing different layouts. So that's how I think. So did I put myself on that, or put my expectations high? Probably. Who's made me put those expectations high? Marvel. But I would say I did not really expect to see any X-Men, because you got to do that right.
Yeah.
So Professor X, possibly. That's easier to do. Wolverine, Storm, Gambit, Jubilee, Beast, Archangel, whoever. Yeah, Iceman. I didn't expect. Deadpool, maybe. Fantastic Four. That's for me good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah. Fan service. Whether he actually is going to be starring in it or directing it or both is another thing. But I then also got a little problem as well. All right. Well, not a problem. Marvel needs to make this a bit more clearer. So we've got TVA, time variance, yeah?
Yep.
I guess that deals with timelines, not parallel Earths or dimensions.
Yes.
So parallel Earths, dimensions, or multiverse. In No Way Home, we had the 3 Spider-Men looking different.
Yep.
From different universes. I guess, yeah?
Yep.
Does that now mean characters can potentially look the same in different universes or look different in different universes?
I think it's both.
That's what I was going to say. It's both. So that's a very slack rule. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that, because like you had Captain Marvel, who's black in that universe.
That's easy to explain. That can be like she was doing the test pilots other than Carol Danvers. That's the thing.
We don't. Well, did they tell us her name? Did they say her name?
No, it's Captain Marvel, but that's Maria Rambeau. because that's
Yeah.
Monica Rambeau's mum. So we know this.
Yeah,
It's just-
Monica Rambeau was called Captain Marvel in the 80s, run of the Avengers.
yes,
Oh, okay.
but you're going, David.
Yeah, again, it's like you're saying in terms of our expectations
Just
and
all this.
how
we
we have.
don't want to excite him too much. He's going to clean up the mess in the cinema. If there was a Wesley Snipes cameo, come on.
Thank you, Kay. You know, they should have done. You know,
there.
I don't even want to go there, but you know, I'll go there now anyway. Since Kay is just brought, I just thought that the end credit scene, it could have been better, because unless people go and do their research, they won't know who it was that came to Doctor Strange.
I knew.
Same here.
Yeah,
And I think that's the point. That's the point. You say, hold on, Charlize Theron, Oscar-winning actress, is now in the MCU. All right, who is she? Who is she? That's that will make people want to say, hold on, if you're getting someone like her in, then this person must be serious.
Yeah,
well,
people.
She ain't the biggest star to come into the MCU.
But she's a big star.
Hold on. Has anyone in the MCU has acted in MCU has an Oscar? Because if not, technically she is.
I'm wondering now. What about Angelina Jolie? No.
Oh, you might be right.
Because Angelina Jolie was in Eternals. That's an interesting one. We'll have to look that one up.
Anyway, let's go back to an original point which Mr. Cato made, was about how why isn't the TVA coming around and pruning all these universes and getting rid of them? So let's try and work this out together.
Well, I think technically because the TVA is going through their own issues right now, so it would be a bit hypocrisy of them to come out and then try to point the fingers and fixing things when they haven't actually fixed their own in-house problems.
Yeah, so
considering that the whole TVA has been a whole sham. So, which we come to find out. So they ain't exactly the standard bearer for, clear and cut justice when they've been manipulating things their own selves.
Well, two things. Oh, a couple of things, not two things, because I might not have two things. One, they're pruning things that's going against the norm, what the timelines should go.
Yeah, timelines that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. That's number one. Number two, so I do have two things. Kang's involved. Oh, so potentially Kang's involved. So there's no.
We always did.
There's no TV. There's no TVA as such, as we now know, as we knew it in the beginning of Loki. So maybe there's pruning. Remember, pruning timelines, not multiverses, by the way, is not important.
1 second. This is a good point by my brother. The TVA potentially doing incursions without the Illuminati knowing. That's a good point. I think one thing they tried to tell, but they didn't tell it very well. I think they tried to make the point that an incursion needs to involve magic. Dark magic especially. That's something I kind of semi-picked up on. Now, it might be me reading too much into it. But yeah, I do think that they do need to, because I thought Loki explained the multiverse really well. Because me, Andy, I hate time travel.
Yeah, multiverse or time or
time travel or multiversal things. I'm not a big fan, but Loki actually explained it really well. And now I think, but some of these movies are kind of not going against the rules they've made, but they're kind of flouting some of it. So in the last episode of Loki, I don't even remember Kang was explaining how the multiverse works.
Yeah, he who remains,
and he kind of done this image to explain it. Yeah, he who remains to be.
Yeah.
So these are like different universes, and then you've got like different universes coming out of each universe. But then you've got.
Is it universes or timelines?
Well, this is the bit I was hoping the three of us could work out together.
Okay.
So are these? I think these are like different timelines. No. You've got different timelines attached to each universe, I think. But then you've got different universes on top of them. So you've got like layers upon layers of what a different timeline is, and then what a different universe is as well.
Yeah, it's a bit.
What they need is they need Michael Penner to come in and basically do an explanation of how all this stuff works.
Simple.
That would be perfect.
But again, I mean, the way I look at it, to simplify it myself now, I just said the fact that,
because you would need to simplify it for you.
Yeah, because the fact that the TVA, in terms of how it started and how it was revealed in the end, what their whole agenda was, that basically was all a sham. It was nothing like what were being portrayed and told to their staff. So again, it would be hypocritical of them to actually try and go, especially now that the veil's been lifted up and they're no longer, those who was actually in charge of it is no longer in charge of it. They can't then go around to Multiverse to try and like prune certain people who's doing certain things. You know, they don't actually have that capability now to do it.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. So I quickly don't want to talk about each member of the Illuminati quickly and just
Can I put one question before we go? Sorry, I'm taking control of the stream. Who do you think the seventh chair could have been for?
I was actually going to be my last question after we go through each person, but we can cover it now if you want. Do you want to do? Do you want to cover it now or
do it now?
And Kay as well. Who do you think the seventh chair was going to be covering? So obviously we had Professor X. Professor X turned up in his original yellow kind of hover wheelchair thing. We had the nice little X-Men interlude music, which was a beautiful touch, I felt. Really made me feel at home regarding that. Okay. My brother's just said the Submariner. That's a damn
nice one.
And I think I know why they wouldn't have used him straight away, because I think he might be turning up in the Black Panther movie. So I thought it was a really nice touch. Obviously, it wasn't the same Professor X which we've seen in previous movies. But what it does tell us about Universe 838, which is the universe they inhabit, my brother brings up a good point as well. Why did they call themselves 838 and not Universe number 1? So that's a bit weird. It kind of suggests that actually maybe other universes might already be doing the research as well in regards to how many different universes there are.
Or maybe they already found a different universe that's number 1.
Somebody already took it.
Yes.
Yeah. But so what that suggests to us already is in this 838 universe, there's other X-Men there, like Cyclops, Wolverine, Jean Grey, Slug. They're all there. Do you like that one? A deep cut X-Man right there, Slug.
Oh God,
David, you know Slug? He's awesome.
No,
he's.
I suppose he didn't say random. That's another one. It was random. The one his arms turned into guns.
Oh yeah, something like that, wasn't it? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So hold that thought. If Wanda, because I still don't think that they've confirmed that Wanda's parents, who get killed in the MC universe, are her biological parents. I don't think they've ever confirmed that. But Professor X never actually says to Wanda, "I know your dad." I told your dad that you've been naughty. No, but I thought, that would have been interesting if Professor X had made some kind of reference to Magneto.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what I'm saying, Manny. They rushed it because he literally, apart from just that interaction with Doctor Strange, the only other interaction he had was literally when he saw her and he then went into full battle mode, which only lasted 2-3 minutes.
So they missed a trick there, essentially.
But that's what I'm saying again, where I said that they could have slowly built this up for like a big reveal, rather than everything in the one film like just rushed. They're trying to explain that Wanda is the big baddie, the Scarlet Witch. At the same time, they're trying to say about all these different versions of Doctor Strange, what he's doing. Some has been corrupted, some hasn't. Then at the same time, they're trying to tell the backstory of America Chavez. They're doing too many things in one and not enough time. So
I have to disagree.
Well, you think they covered everything?
They covered what they needed to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
because
like I said,
that would have been a hell of a messy movie.
Even though I wanted cameos. When you think about it, they could have made it over 2 hours. They could have made it over 2 hours. But one thing's for certain, they can't introduce too much anything X-Men stuff.
Well, it didn't have to be X-Men. They could have introduced something else. Like, I mean, if they're now going along the lines of like, you know, magical gods, all of that or whatever. Like we said, we see Thor, Love and Thunder coming, so we know that there's going to be God's introduction in that. If you're going along that way, you could have introduced another god or someone from one of the like the astral plane, like, you know, Shadow Kings. Some, you know, some.
It's just too many deep cuts. This is getting messy now. Again,
but Manny, look
how much fan service do you want?
Well, what direction were they going with this movie? That's the thing, though.
The direction was you have a new Nexus being, America Chavez. Yeah.
Which we'll get onto later. So I don't want to talk too much about her now.
Yeah, sorry. I know I'm getting excited. Two, so Scarlet Witch and her mental state, looking for her kids. Yeah. One universe they've smashed into had the Illuminati, so that's where you do your little drops. You have Reed Richards and so on, and Professor X and so on and so on. Obviously, Doctor Strange is going in his journey because it is a Doctor Strange.
What my brother said. I think they covered what they did very well.
Yeah, and then you got the Darkhold.
He's the Oracle, and we should all shut up and listen to him.
That's right. True say. Real talk. So, for the characters that they had to tell the story on, I think they've done it well.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back to the point I was making. So, like, I'm not just here to just like shit on the movie. We're here to discuss theories and stuff as well. So yeah, I think it's interesting to know that there are other X-Men in the background, because I think that will play into something later on in the future if they move it forward. Allow me to get into it. Apparently, as well, before we move on to the next person, apparently they edited the violence of Professor X's death. Apparently his face actually gets ripped in half. She doesn't just snap his neck, but they edited that bit out because it might scare people, and I'm quite fragile, so I appreciate them editing that bit out. Okay, let's talk about John Krasinski as Reed Richards. Davey, how did you feel when you saw John Krasinski hit the screen?
I actually liked it because, you know what, he's shown over the years that, you know, he's very talented in terms of the different characters, roles that he can actually play. He can go from comedy in The Office to more serious roles. I mean, like, we all know that, for those who isn't familiar, he's the one who actually wrote, what's the movie with his wife?
The Quiet Place.
Yeah, Quiet Place. You know, which is an amazing movie. He wrote and produced it as well. So you can see, for someone to be on that level, it shows that they've got multiple layers in terms of abilities and talent, what they can do. So I think it's an actual great choice for him to actually be Reed Richards. Especially, I mean, do we all remember the last Fantastic Four movie?
I never watched it. I refused to watch it.
It's the one where they actually had Michael B. Jordan, who played Human Torch, and it was an absolute. And it's the guy who's going to be Goose's son in Top Gun Maverick. He was the one who was actually playing Reed Richards, and he did not look like a Reed Richards. He kind of reminds me of that weird guy, you know, the one who plays Lex Luthor in the Superman movies now. The one who plays he plays Mark Zuckerberg in Facebook, you know, whatever.
Back onto it. How did you feel about
he doesn't look, you have to have someone who looks the part, and I actually think that he actually fits the part perfectly for an older, wiser Reed Richard, you know, not, you know, he's like at the right age, how you expect a Reed Richard So it'd be interesting to see who they would now cast as Doctor Doom opposite him.
That's very good. Dowdy, what did you think of John Krasinski when you saw him come on screen? I was sat next to you and I did feel you go, "Ooh."
Hey, because that's the shock moment. You never think that they were going to actually do something that was kind of requested by the fans or drawn by fans.
It was a bit anticlimactic. He'd been rumored for years.
Oh, really?
My brother was like, God damn it.
Why?
It's him.
Yeah.
I think
my brother actually walked out of the cinema at that point. He didn't actually watch the rest of it.
Asked for his refund.
Oh, bloody Krasinski, God's sake.
Someone different.
1 second.
Well, I personally think it was. Oh, where's it gone? Got a delivery, maybe.
On a Sunday.
Exactly.
Uber Eats.
I good fan casting. I think that will for the fans and people that's done the fan casting, that's a good nod. Do I think he can play Reed Richards in the future? I actually think he can because
I think he can, yeah.
Because he showed a
oh,
little.
Hell no. Kay says Steve Carell as Dr. Doom.
And what, Mandy Kisling as Sue Storm? Because to be honest, I think he can do Reed Richards better than what he was given.
Do you know why Submariner wasn't sat in the 7th chair?
If it's a fish joke, then I don't want to know.
He was probably in a hotel room with Sue Storm,
who I said was going to be Mindy Kisling from The Office, since Steve Carell as Dr. Doom has been mentioned.
Because like Submariner always had his eye on Sue Storm, and now she's dead. Now Reed is dead, so I think old Namor is going to go in there. Sow his fishy seeds.
Okay. You've changed since you come back into your room. What happened?
I was talking about what happened for dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, I told you, Uber Eat.
Is that there we go?
That's talking what's for having for dinner.
Oh, but let me finish before I go. Do you ever heard the rumor who potentially was going to be cast as Reed Richards in Doctor Strange 2?
No.
Daniel Craig.
Oh no, I did see that this morning. Yeah, that would have been weird.
Do you know? I would have laughed out loud. I would have laughed very loud if that was the case, because that's just so random that you can't just sit there and go, huh? You got to laugh at it.
Yeah, it would be bad because I'm not really a particular fan of his, if I'm honest.
It's good in Bond. It's good in Bond.
You and Dowdy can have a shame about who your favorite Bond is one day, because
Connery.
Anyway, I've got a good point in the comments, which I want to get on to.
Sean Connery, Roger Moore,
Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Anyway,
and what's his name? Pierce Brosnan.
Yes, true. You started it, Manny. Now we ending it.
Yeah.
Right, both of you shut up. Good. Right. My brother brings no X-Men took on Thanos on 838. So what my brother's saying is, when we see the scene of Thanos dead, he's only got a few of the Infinity Gems in his gauntlet, so they managed to actually take him out before he got to full power, which means he probably never done the snap in that universe.
Mm-hmm.
Probably means that they are probably more effective as a fighting force than our MCU 616 types.
But remember, the Illuminati would get together and just go and do their thing without anyone knowing. So, and
my brother brings up the point that there's no X-Men present, so you would expect there's a big battle with Thanos, that all the Avengers, X-Men, because we know there's Avengers because Captain Carter is the first Avenger, so that suggests there's other Avengers about as well.
But maybe they were fighting those his dogs. I'm gonna call them dogs. Yeah. So, so they were somewhere else.
Yeah, or maybe they didn't want anybody else around because they're the Illuminati. They do things in secret. They don't.
Correct.
Don't mess around. So they wouldn't want other X-Men and other people on the Avengers roster to watch them
do what they have to
murder.
Yeah, do what they have to do.
Doctor Strange. I think that could be a reason why there weren't any X-Men or Avengers from other teams there. Okay, who's next on the
maybe it could have been a case of that universe's Doctor Strange also had the time stone, but he could actually turn back time. You know, like Thanos did in our universe when he turned back time and actually killed Vision and took the stone from him. So maybe in that universe they actually did that, where they went and killed him before he was actually able to actually get the rest of the stones.
Maybe it's a good point. Or the budget had paid a part. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, maybe they just couldn't be asked to pay for.
We got paid for. We got paid for them actors. Yeah.
To be fair, you have to get them costume for a 5-second scene. What is the point of that? That'll just be absolutely long. The next one, Black Bolt. So we talked about Black Bolt. That was an awful show, which I never watched. So I don't know personally if it was awful, but I just heard it was awful.
It's bad.
This might be my favorite MCU death. The way Wanda kills him is excellent, and it is just gory as anything. So Wanda obviously steals his mouth shut. Black Bolt has the power to topple mountains with a mere whisper. He gets his mouth shut. And obviously,
the panic.
If somebody does that to you, your first reaction is going to be, which has made the shockwaves reverberate back into himself and literally collapse his brain. When you watch it a second time, you can actually see his brain kind of slipping down the back of his head. It is horrible. It's a horrible, horrible death. And I think Kevin Feige done that because he hated the Inhumans show so much. That's my personal opinion. He was just going to take you all out on that character. You give me an awful Black Bolt, this is how I'm going to kill it.
And he thanked Reed Richards because, in theory, I think maybe what Black Bolt was trying to say when he was there trying to talk, he was trying to be like, Reed, why you tell her that or whatever? Because she had no clue what I could do. And you're going to tell her, oh, by the way, if my guy over here talks, oh, you're done for because of his kind of power. Oh, so you mean he needs to actually talk to use his power? Yeah, he needs to actually, he ain't got no mouth now. And dude's sitting like, thanks, Reed. Can't talk now he's dead. But you'd have thought, in theory, if he's so used to not speaking, with him not having any lips, it wouldn't affect him. He'd just be like, okay.
It's the shock. It's the shock of it. That fact that somebody has sealed the mouth, which even though he doesn't talk, that's his power.
So he's basically mad because he's like, "Oh my god, my lips are gone." He don't really use it that much.
David,
he uses it.
But your lips shut, so I'd like to see how you'd react.
There'd be peace. There'd be peace in the Middle East, but.
Well, as long as, well, to be honest, that would happen to me because knowing you would go and expose my business to her. You'd be like, yeah, David P, he's the one who's always getting everything wrong. So he don't know 5 + 5. Oh, he doesn't know that? Davey, what's this? And then I would just lose it.
Why are you blaming me because you're an idiot? I don't understand.
Because you're giving out information. What about GDPR?
GDPR doesn't cover.
That covers companies.
I'm sorry.
You should have done. But you know what, Manny? The next thing that I wanted to ask, because you know, with
is it about Black Bolt? Because I've got a script here.
No, it's before I forget this. This I wanted to say earlier, but we got sidetracked a bit. You know, America Chavez has something where she doesn't know how to control her power. She only knows to use it.
Yeah, we're covering
in fear.
Yeah, we're going to cover America Chavez later.
Oh, cool. Yeah, all right. Don't steal my idea.
See, this is what happens when you don't come on time for prepping.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one person that's only been on 2 streams is telling you off. Yeah.
I might just move him out. Yeah, so about Black Bolt is that it's just a mere whisper can take down a mountain. So even if he goes, that's enough to kill somebody. So that's the level of Black Bolt's powers. We had Captain Marvel, which we've kind of already covered. So this was kind of like a 1980s version.
Captain Carter. Oh, Captain Marvel, Captain Carter. Sorry.
Marvel, like Monica Rambeau, sorry.
Maria
Rambeau. Yeah, it's kind of like more of an 80s version, but it did seem to have kind of like Carol Danvers' powers. It wasn't so much more Photon, it was more Carol Danvers' powers.
Mm-hmm.
But
so which one is she, man?
That Rambeau was.
Is she the daughter?
So that was the mum we saw.
Oh, so that's the actual mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the mum we saw. So maybe in their universe, it was actually Maria Rambeau who ends up on the Kree homeworld, not Carol Danvers. So It was a nice touch. It was a nice touch. I think her death could have been a bit more violent. I think just something falling on her.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said that to you. Yeah, literally, just like a statue just toppled over on her.
And remember, if our Captain Marvel can actually fly through a ship, then really a statue should not be that difficult to protect herself from.
Yeah. So as my brother says, it's a Monica Rambeau with Kree powers.
Mm.
So to speak. Then we had Captain Carter from the What If series. I'm sure we all went, yay!
Yeah, that was badass.
The first Avenger, so suggesting there are other Avengers out there, and it's actually there might be multiple Captain Carters across the universe as well. She gets chopped in half
With her own shield.
with her own shield.
That's
Silly, amateur move right there.
You know something? If I'm Captain Carter and I'm thinking all I've got is super soldier serum, I'm going to be like, you know something? You guys handle this because I know my limits. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to stay in my lane. You get what I mean? Like, this is for the proper overpowered superheroes to deal with, not me.
Yeah, that's just amateurish 101. You know, can you imagine meeting up with all the other dead Avengers, everyone in the other, you know, in the afterlife? Oh, how did you die? Oh, I sacrificed my life doing the snap. Iron Man talking. What about you, Captain? Yeah, I got killed by my shield.
It'll be worse. It'll be worse than that because people will be like, "Where's your legs?"
You know, like pull yourself together. I mean, you know, you're half the woman you used to be. What happened? Yeah.
Remember that scene from Aliens when Bishop gets torn in two?
Yeah.
Looking like that, basically.
just literally crawling on the floor in the afterlife.
Yeah, I thought that was just amateur. I thought the fight was actually good when they were
Really
double.
good choreographed.
That was really cool. And you just thought, I thought they put more emphasis on making the women fight better than the men. Reed Richard came there and he's trying to like use diplomacy, trying to reach out to her. You don't know her from nowhere. This woman is clearly not in her right mind. And you're there. If she's willing to take over herself, literally possess herself in another universe to get what she wants, you think you can come there and have a rational conversation with her? She's going to be like, well, yes, sir, Mr. Reed Richards. You know what? With your intellect and your, you know, level of understanding, you know, I agree with you. I'll just go back and just, you know, we'll just discuss this and all. No, so he deserved to actually he should have got like a more gruesome death, just based on his stupidity.
Well, instead of being turned into like spaghetti.
Yeah,
and had his head had his head, and yeah, he did explode. His head got blown up.
I mean, she should have just done it from the get-go, just like blew him up, bits of him all over. Like,
It should be turned to a nice carbonara, and Wanda's there like, nom, 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 nom.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
No
so
cannibalism.
As well, here's what I'm going to get onto later. Wanda A3 has powers as well, which I'm going to get on. I'm going to get onto that point in a bit. So we had, and the other Illuminati member we saw as well was Baron Mordo, and he just kind of got stuck in that weird bit which he couldn't get out of.
A moat.
My brother made another point which I wanted to get onto. Where did he say? Okay,
he said, "Good point, Mr. Cato." I saw that.
He did say, "Good point, Mr. Cato." He did. He also suggested as well the seventh chair could have been filled by the High Evolutionary. I'm not sure because
he's in Guardian. He probably will be in Guardians.
But he's not exactly a good guy either, is he? High Evolutionary.
No, it's a bit of a...
Yeah, but remember that's a different universe.
He's just a bit of a nutter.
Yeah, but remember that's a different universe, so it could be in that universe where he's different.
A good guy, maybe. It's a good point. Other shouts for the seventh chair?
To be honest, Superior Iron Man.
Which the rumors were Tom Cruise.
I think it would have
that would be so badass. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't really dig Scientology, guys, in my movies. But, I found that Michael Penner's apparently a Scientologist. That really upset me.
Oh dear.
Listen, as long as he's doing his role when he's on screen, I don't care what he is. Whether he does that, whether he wants
you've just got a micro single-minded mentality.
No, it's just that his private life has got nothing to do with the film that he's getting paid to do. as long as he does the role very well.
We need to do some research on Scientology.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, in terms of that, like, I mean, for all we know, all these guys on screen there, could be doing all sorts of stuff that we disapprove of. But as long as when it comes to the
Hey, they killed my favorite musician's dog, and we're just going to leave it there.
Yeah, that sucks. But as long as I think as long as the casting is right. I mean, one of the rumors also is that Denzel wants to be a part of the MCU, so it would be interesting to see if he's going to be in one of these upcoming movies. If he's already, filmed something, but they haven't released it because
potentially. I mean, none of us knew Charlize Theron was going to suddenly pop up in it, which was really cool. So essentially, we have this universe 838. What their Wanda has been possessed by our kind of crazy Wanda, wiped out the Illuminati, so basically killed the leader of the mutants, leader of the Avengers, leader of the Fantastic Four, leaving a poor grieving widow in Sue Storm, who's going to go running into the arms of Namor. The dead Captain Marvel. I'm so upset.
You got this weird thing about them two getting together, but moving on.
Yeah, when I actually read it in the comics, I used to just wonder, Sue, what do you see in Namor? And then you read how boring Reed Richards is, and then it all makes sense why she might be interested in Namor.
It's not those wings on his feet that turns her on, I guess.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Is it like the equivalent of having a really cool pair of Nikes? Like having little wings on the feet?
Mm.
Yeah, but we're saying all of that, and I'm glad that you're actually on to Scarlet Witch because, when we were speaking earlier, I asked you a question, remember, earlier about Scarlet Witch.
You might have done.
Before we came on the stream, like earlier today.
Yeah, I've forgotten what the question was.
I was like, oh, yeah, you go ahead. Sorry, you were doing...
Yeah, so, we've got this universe where all these people have been killed. All the leaders of the main factions of superheroes have been killed. Is this going to be peak for 838 Scarlet Witch? Because she does have her own powers. She's got kids there.
According to everyone else, she killed off the Illuminati.
Yeah, she killed off the Illuminati. So are they going to want to kill Wanda, even though she's perfectly innocent because she was possessed?
Well, why would they? They already know that it wasn't her.
No, Baron Mordo is the only one that survives, theoretically. And Baron Mordo is a bit of an idiot, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's the one from our universe.
No, both of them were idiots. Yeah, see how easy Baron Mordo was to get Vex when Doctor Strange just had to say, you didn't like me, you always got jealous of me. So, and Baron Mordo wanted to cast his vote before. Yeah, he didn't even believe Professor X when he said, you know what, this Strange is different. So Baron might sit and go, you know what, I am now the Illuminati and the Sorcerer Supreme. Kill Wanda. And
I could imagine him being preemptive and saying, listen, she may be fine now, but we can see what she turns into in the future.
What if someone dream walks her again?
Because remember, they killed Doctor Strange in their universe because of potentially what he could do, not because of what he actually done.
Exactly.
Well, he asked them to kill him.
Yeah,
no.
They told him they're going to kill you.
Told him they're going to kill you.
Yeah, and Doctor Strange, because in that universe he seemed like a stand-up geezer, he was like, guys, I'm not going to argue with you. Just kill me.
Yeah, but then he can't be mad because remember, they said that he created the Illuminati to actually make the tough decisions to do certain things.
And I think that's why he was okay with himself being killed, but they still made that decision to kill him before he'd.
And I think he also caused an incursion.
Yeah, in another universe.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. So my point is, I don't think this is the last we've seen of 838. I think we're going to be visiting 838 again to see what's going on there. And I think whatever happens in 838 will impact 616 in some way, shape, or form. And it could be a way of
potentially
characters over. Go on, David.
Yeah, potentially we could actually see Professor X back again on 8 through 80.
Oh, sorry, we've got a special guest in the chat. Hey, man, what's going on? Manny is right from that perspective. If they killed Doctor Strange due to potential, same would likely apply to Wanda's Scarlet Witch. Thank you, man.
Sure.
3-on-1.
No, I never disagreed. I never disagreed with that. I'm just saying, well, he created them for them to actually make certain decisions. So, you can't go against. You can't say, well, you can make tough decisions, but when it comes to me, you need to actually think about it first, and let's just explore other options. So, yeah, but I think we could actually see Professor X back again on 838. Reason being, we don't know what they've done with the Infinity Stones.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. They could all come back potentially at the time.
That's what I'm saying. And reason being, considering that there were so many probably innocent people that was killed by, Scarlet Witch from an alternative, from a different multiverse, a different universe, which had nothing. So they never died naturally. So it's not like it's a natural death based on that universe, how you should have died. Then potentially they could go ahead and get those, use the Infinity Stones to actually bring back all those who was killed by Scarlet Witch from the from whatever they call our multiverse, our universe.
It's true. Oh, that's a fair point. It's a fair point. I just want to say as well, Aman makes a lovely selection of moisturizers and skincare products under the name Aman Made. So please feel free to check out her Instagram and check out her products. They're really good.
Sounds good, because I don't want to look like Submariner and have scaly skin and stuff.
Exactly. So you should get on it. You should check out her Instagram page and get on it and check out her products.
Yeah, you should too. I'm just saying, we all don't want to have scaly skin.
I mean, I do go on the page and check out her.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. But
cool. So I think there is potential to see Wanda again, and also I like this. I like this for my brother. A potential of actually, could we end up with a multiversal war? Oh my god! And could this be potentially the big bad we're heading towards, like the big final battle, like an 838 versus 613?
Well, I think that would be pointless to do that, because based on what they're saying,
that would be amazing.
Well, yeah, but then they'd both die, possibly. Both universe would lose, because remember, it says each time you go across those multiverse, you actually risk the potential of an
incursion.
Yeah, an incursion.
Or you end up creating, like in the Secret War stories, a battle world.
Now I've got a theory about.
You talk about battle world, sir. Talk about battle world.
Hang on, okay. Before you get into what would be the goal, or what would be the prize when they do all of that? What's the prize?
What, a battle world?
Well, in terms of this, for 838 versus 613.
All right, so this is what I think. This is what I think. What Kay is potentially going on about. So, at the moment, we've got Baron Mordo or whoever he recruits. Yeah, he's vexed that 613 Scarlet Witch dreamwalked and killed up everyone. Baron Mordo wants revenge. Like our Baron, well, not ours, because it doesn't exist in our world. That 613.
You can say our, it's fine, it's fine.
Our Baron Mordo, because he wants to take up all the magic. Yeah. Bear in mind that there was a sly thing that Doctor Strange did say, that basically along the lines of his Baron Mordo wants to kill him. So that means they've had wars constantly after Doctor Strange won, but anyway, put that to the side. So it's probably just revenge, to be honest, Davey. Just revenge that.
Yeah, that would make sense, but they can't travel through the multiverse. The only person
they could do research into it. That's what.
Well, the only person who could do it was Doctor Strange, their Doctor Strange, and our Wanda, based on
actually
the book.
They'll find a story. They'll find a story way to get around it.
Actually, the only person that can travel dimensions. The only person that can travel dimensions is actually America Chavez.
Right. Well, now you mentioned that, I wanted to speak on that. My question was, You know, earlier in the film, she says that she hasn't got control of her power. It only happens when she's in fear of her life. And she's been potentially traveling through multiple. She says she's been to what?
72 or 73.
Yeah, 72 or 73. So either they're trying to tell us that Wanda's been chasing her all that time for potentially the past 7 years, or something else has been chasing her, because in order for her to travel through the multiverse, she has to open a portal, which she was only able to do through fear. So what has been scaring her? Because surely it's not just like a regular fear.
I don't think it's that deep. I don't think it's.
Well, that's what she said.
Yeah, but I think since the very first time she traveled, when she got bitten by the bee, there must be times where any time she gets scared, she opens a portal. So then she
so it's potentially just regular fear, just in terms of when she just gets frightened, super frightened.
Yeah. If she ends up in the dinosaur universe and she sees a T-Rex heading towards her, she's going to kick open another portal. If she goes into another dimension and it's kind of like
Paint.
I don't know, Ridley Scott Alien World, she's going to open another like portal and go somewhere else. I think it's just as basic as that.
So it could literally be she could be at the cinema watching something, get startled, opens a portal up inside there. That is it.
They make a point as well of making her fifth, because in the comics she's a bit older than what she is in the movie. So I think they've done that on purpose because they want her to.
What age is she supposed to be in this movie?
She's about early teens.
Yeah,
15,
14 or 15 she's going to be.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to say, look, she's a traumatized kid who thinks that she might have been responsible for the death of her parents. So she's going to be scared a lot more than your average kid as well. Because, boy, like, none of us have ever had to jump through different universes at the age of 14. Though walking through Dalston, age 14, just as scary.
Manny, I think we did. I think there's something we've done. No, you know, I'm not going to bother.
Okay, no, we're not talking about that on air.
No.
Okay. I'd be scared of a Davy P. Oh my God, could you imagine the other Davy? They're probably really sensible, make really good points.
In another universe, David P. is actually David P. is you, Manny, in the middle.
Oh my God!
And you're David P. And I'm.
You're just the same. You're just.
Do you know what? I'm a Nexus BN.
Do you know what you are, Dowdy, in another universe? You've got a dreaded beard and an afro.
Black Jesus.
Or Black Watu. Just there watching by the window. No, that's not a good point. I don't like that point, you know. David P is actually right.
Yep, there's a universe. Yep, there's a universe like that too.
Anyway, yeah. So, but I just want to get back onto this because I actually think it's a really good point my brother makes. That we could, because what we could see is Mordo actually, because Mordo is a dick. You could have a situation where Mordo goes, "I need to kill all the Scarlet Witches," because Mordo hates magic. Anybody else who can do magic.
Yes, absolutely hates them.
So I could see a situation where I was like, "No, every single Wanda's got to die, every single one." And Elizabeth Olsen has said, listen, I am willing to do as much Scarlet. She's one of the actors who I love because she actually loves playing a Marvel character. And she said, look, I'll do it. Just give me good stories. Probably good pay as well.
Of course. I mean, come on now. Her career wasn't exactly like blooming before she came into the Marvel.
You don't need to turn everything into a negative like comment.
No, it's not a negative. I'm saying, so why would you not want to continue that? Like, you know, that's actually giving you the best.
Because some actors
of your life.
Oh, they're really big and they should be doing Shakespearean theatre and stuff like that. She actually appreciates properly the art that Marvel is.
Yeah, of course. It's anyone who don't appreciate it is just closed-minded, because Marvel is. If Marvel wasn't what it was, then it wouldn't change the landscape of filming in terms of what people want to see. Because you look at it, the Marvel type films, they generate the most revenue in terms of at the box office.
Okay, so that's true. So let's finally talk about America Chavez. Okay, so America Chavez isn't a character I'm personally familiar with in the comics. She was a character who came a bit after I stopped reading. My kind of period is 81 to 2005, 2006. It's kind of the period I was reading comics. So
No, well, you couldn't, Manny. Don't exaggerate now on camera. You were born in 81. You was reading comics then?
yes, no, but I've read. Let me clarify this point then, because as you brought
Yeah,
it,
there you go. Clarify it, please, sir.
okay, my brother, who's in the comments, he's 12 years older than me. So when he was 12 in 1981,
And you were 0.
I was 0. He was collecting comics. We lived in the same house, believe it or not, being
I
siblings.
believe that.
So when I hit about 7 or 8 years old, guess who started reading all of his comics?
So that would be 1988. So you've been reading comics from 1988.
Yeah, but I've been reading, but my period of expertise is from 81 to the mid 2000s.
Yes, sir. So be specific.
I was being specific.
You said he was Mr. Cato. Did he not say he was reading comics from 1981 to 2000?
No, you can't add me because I know.
To the mid noughties, sir.
I know when you
you're just being argumentative for the sake of being argumentative. I suggest you pipe down again, sir. Anyway. Okay. So yeah. And my brother's collection is still in this house, and I need to actually one day, and Dowdy, you need to pop around, and you need to help me basically bag all these comics up again, because
again,
I need to go through regular rebagging. So that's my period. So I didn't know about America Chavez. Dowdy, were you reading America Chavez comics when they came out?
No, I'm aware of the character though, because I do a little research on whatever stories. I might have been collecting them, but I'm aware of America Chavez.
So I wasn't.
She's pretty new. She's a pretty new character.
Yeah, so I wasn't aware. So I my first real proper experience of her is in the movie, and I really liked this America Chavez character. She's cool. She's awesome. She kicks star-shaped holes through universes, and she's got a good sense of humor. And I just thought she was really cool. Bit of controversy online regarding her casting. I'd especially like Davey to talk about this, as he's a Jamaican, so he knows a lot about the island's culture from that area. In the comics, America Chavez is Afro-Latino.
Yeah,
and even the term Latino has certain controversy attached to it, because I know, like, indigenous people from South America and Central America don't really like the term Latino or Latinx, because they feel as though it kind of refers to European ancestry as opposed to their own indigenous ancestry.
Yeah,
there was a lot of stuff on Twitter about her being cast too light, like her skin was too light, and she wasn't really badass enough. Like in the comic, she's quite bolshy, and she's quite, gets in people's faces, and she's not scared of anything. But how do you feel, Davey, about the criticism?
Well, I think that's an ignorant statement to make, because at the end of the day, from the Caribbean, you've got many people from the Caribbean who's of different ethnicity and different color shades, everything like that. So it's pointless to say you can't. In fact, that actually makes you sound, in terms of people who saying that, makes them sound more racist, because it's like they're basically trying to say, well, if you are Jamaican, then you should look like a Rastafarian, or so and so. Or if you're from India, you should look this certain way, when you can't say that, because people migrate. We know that. Forget about slavery. Since slavery has passed, people in general freely migrate to other countries for different reasons, whether it be for work or whatever. So you'll go to the Caribbean, you'll find people from different backgrounds who's actually there. White Jamaican, Indian, Chinese Jamaican. I mean, just to speak on Jamaica alone, our motto in Jamaica is out of many, one people, because we are very diverse. You had the Arawaks Indian, you had the Spaniards, then you had the British, you also had Irish, because Irish slaves was brought to the Caribbean, as well as slaves from Ghana, as well as Africa as well. So it's a very diverse thing. So to say that because she doesn't look mixed enough, then she's not mixed, sounds very stupid, because it would be the same like when people would ask me,
you're getting love.
Yeah. People are asking you like, are you mixed? And I'm like, no, I'm fully Jamaican. They're like, really? but you're light and you got this color eyes. I'm like, yeah, because Jamaica is a diverse place, so it comes from ancestry and everything like that. So it's stupid to say that because she isn't walking around with her ID to say yes, both my parents is black and Latino, then she's just Latino or whatever. I mean, and because she's not acting a certain way, then you're saying, oh, she's not showing enough of that character. Well, no, your character is just being introduced. She's young. Obviously, you need to build up on the story or whatever. You can't have everything just word for word how it is in the comic. You need to have room to actually develop the character. So that's
well said.
Well
Mr.
said
Cato,
indeed.
I think us two growing up in Hackney, Homerton, I think we should shut up on the subject and not make any further comment. We're not the best placed people to probably answer the question. I just wanted to get the opinion of somebody who's actually grown up and lived in that part of the world. So thank you, Mr. P.
You're welcome.
To add to that, I think people are going to be. It's going to be when they do Miles Morales, you're going to get the same issue because there's a lot of people that have that they want to be Miles Morales who are mixed race, for example. I think
because he's half. It's the same background.
It's the same background.
Same background.
And one of the people fans are casting is one of the boys in
from Blackish.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and he does, and he does.
Yeah,
like Miles Morales, but again, he's not half Latino. You know what I mean? So
well, again, but that's the thing. You just because someone doesn't actually, they might not have a hair that looks a certain way, or doesn't mean that they're not the case. Because it's like you'll have parents, which you've seen. I mean, for anyone who's not level-headed enough to actually just do this or think it's possible, you can research it yourself. Remember, there was a program you can actually find it on YouTube, where it's speaking about twins who was born, and you have one that's dark, one that's light. So it does happen, and you would not even know, you wouldn't think, unless they tell you they're twins, you would not realize that they're actually actual twins, because it happens like that. But it's all about your DNA, your genetic, going back from, your ancestry and how much different mixes we have in us. So you can't say because someone is half Latino, half black, or, half white, half black, that they will come out. You expect them to be a certain shape. You're just pigeonhole people. And it doesn't mean that everyone's going to look like that or be that particular way. So you can't say, well, because he doesn't look it, that means that's not possible. Yes, it is. And it's a damn movie as well. Hello, it's a movie. Jesus. He doesn't. Are you gonna be mad because he's not got the exact type of spider power as the Spider-Man that we know, Tobey Maguire? It's not real. It's a movie. Enjoy it and shut up.
That's fairly said. So I liked America Chavez. I can't wait to see more of her quickly, because we're an hour, 10 minutes in. So we'll try and get this done within next half. Quickly, Daddy, what did you think of America Chavez? Awesome. Mr. P, you wrote a poem
for Chavez, yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked America Chavez. I thought it was, beautifully done. And yeah, it's got potential, for us now that's a nice introduction for us to actually get to know her more.
Do you know what I love about America Chavez? She dressed the way I used to dress when I was in my early 20s.
What, denim jacket?
Like a teenage girl. So you dress like a teenage.
Pretty much, yeah. I was into all that emo stuff, wasn't I? So
yes,
skinny jeans and the tight denim jacket and the t-shirt underneath. Yeah.
So you was probably out there somewhere in East London kicking Stargate portals, and they're going through Multiverse doing all sorts, eh?
If only I had the life. Actually, no, I wouldn't want America Chavez's life. I wouldn't want that at all. Life. So I want to quickly talk about Wanda again. So
yeah, because I actually had some notes on something that you had mentioned when we're speaking about Wanda.
All right, let me set it up. So Wanda goes to. So obviously Wanda turns mad. She's. Entire movie is about her wanting her kids. But a few bits I liked was that she does end up at Wundagore Mountain, which is the place where the Darkhold was. created in the comics, and they mention the demon Kafon, who is the demon who basically created the Darkhold. So I am really hoping that in the future we see Kafon in some way, shape, or form. Marvel has proven they do not care about China, and they will have demonic spirits and demons in their movies. Screw you, China. We don't care. We're just going to do it. So I would love to see Mark Hamill actually cast as Kafon, because Mark Hamill voiced him in the cartoons, in the Avenger cartoons. So I think that would be really cool if they brought him back to be Kafon. But it does show as well, Wundagore Mountain also has other relevance to Wanda Maximoff. Do you want to tell the story, Mr. Kato, or should I tell the story?
Go ahead, sir.
So, Wanda Maximoff and her brother Pietro, they were found by a cow named Bova.
Who was in this?
But she wasn't an ordinary cow, was she? She was a humanoid cow, the best kind of cow, a humanoid one. And Bova was basically one of the animal men, which the High Evolutionary, who my brother mentioned previously, which actually might be, again, another good shout for what he could have been in seat number 7. He was basically playing with evolution, and that's how he created Bova, and he created lots of other animal human hybrid types. And I think we're going to find that in Guardians 3, High Evolutionary is responsible for the creation of Rocket Raccoon, I think, is what we're going to find out. But the fact that Wanda is there at Wundagore Mountain, I think that's telling as well, because I do think they are setting up that story with the High Evolutionary, and I think it is setting up that Wanda is going to come back and play some kind of a role in the High Evolutionary story. I think we're going to find out more about Wanda's past, and I think we're going to find that she's linked to Wundagore Mountain in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, the twins were born on the mountain. Magneto and his wife, they found Bova and gave the twins to Bova, because why wouldn't you give your twins to a humanoid cow?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm ready
to supply milk.
And before we come in Carmitage, they had a humanoid cow.
Where did humanoid
cow come from? I've never seen it before. I mean, amazing stuff. Davey, come in.
Yes, I mean, just going on the whole, Scarlet Witch, I was actually speaking to you earlier before we went on stream, and I said to you, in every universe, when I said my interpretation of how I view Wanda / Scarlet Witch is as a very entitled brat. That's the image and the behavior that she displayed. You think about it. She didn't have these kids, but she wants these kids. So rather than go out and do it the old-fashioned way, she just wants to take what she didn't actually have. And I said, in every single universe that she mentioned that she's a mother, she's never once spoke about the father. So I said, man, who's potentially the father? And then you said to me from the other day, it might be Wonder Man. Not you, but Wonder Man. Yeah, not you, Wonder Man. So I said, you know what, let me do some research on Wonder Man. And I said, research showed Wonder Man first appeared in Avengers, issue number 9 in 1964.
You don't have to go into that much detail.
No, it's important. He was created by who? Zemo. He actually gave him his powers. Which was interesting, and he's linked to Wonder Man is linked to Tony Stark because he also had a rival company, but Tony Stark Enterprise outbid his. He got done in corruption and all sorts or whatever.
Actor as well, Hollywood.
It's actually his intellect they actually used to help create Vision, and when Vision died, and they wanted to recreate him back again, he didn't approved for them to use his intellect, so Vision wasn't created, and that's how apparently he and Scarlet Witch became close. So he might actually be, like Manny had actually said to me, he might actually be the father to these kids. And I'm saying, in all these universe that she's there looking at and see these kids. At no point in any of these universe could she just go across and just hook up with the man, get pregnant the old-fashioned way, and have her own damn kids instead of going around trying to kidnap people's kids. Yeah, you're telling me in every single universe she's looked at, she ain't once thought about the daddy. She's just like, you know what? I would just go out there and just steal people's kids because they're mine. I want it. Don't never mind that you're breaking up a family and it's not your kids. She's out here want us to sympathize. I mean, we know me already that I'm the villain sympathizer, but not even I can sympathize with this bit there. You literally want to go out and actively steal some kids when you could easily go out, have a little one night stand with the dad, the same way you wanted to like possess, the mom from other universe. You could have go out, hooked up with the dad, say, America Chavez, I won't kill you. Just take me there. Let me and him have a good time. Come back, have your baby, raise it, actually build and have real memories with these child because they're actually yours, as opposed to trying to steal someone else's kid. I just don't understand what is wrong with her.
Davey, you started so well. You started so well, and then you went down here.
No, but it's true. What is the relevance to that?
Okay, Manny, show him, Manny.
He's crying at home right now. He's got tears running down his eyes because you've actually said something. You've actually done some research, and it's amazing. It's amazing. You've actually outdone yourself, sir.
Thank you.
And
you're and a bit in, and you finally said something relevant. It's amazing. Well done, Davey P. Aman's taking notes.
But
Aman's like, yeah, for
real.
Yeah,
man, don't go out stealing kids. Let America Chavez take you. Do it the old-fashioned way.
Anyway, not to counterpoint the point, but I think the story they're trying to tell is Wanda wants these kids, Tommy and Billy, which she's already made a connection with. She doesn't want new kids. She wants
these kids.
Yeah, it's like when your dog dies and they buy you a new dog, and you don't know, but I like the old dog.
Yeah, but Manny, we're not calling the kids dog, but these were not her kids. She had plucked them from another universe.
In her Westview escapades.
Yeah, but again, that's not authentic. Again, those were stolen.
Not Wanda.
I'm not going to tell her for her to do. You see what she can do to people. Why am I going to go tell her to her face?
I'm not going to tell her, but I think that's the story they're trying to tell to answer your question.
Yeah, but I'm saying I can say it to you because the most you'll do to me is remove me from the stream. If I go tell it to her face to face, hey.
Yeah, so let's move on.
He asked for it. Yeah,
he did.
He put it in the universe.
He did. He can go and annoy another Manny in a different universe.
That's the nexus point. He annoys every man in every universe.
Yeah. Do you know something? Do you know what's amazing? We've actually gone an hour and 20 minutes into the stream. Wait, it's strange.
We haven't exactly. We're halfway through the film now, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah. And you know something? I'm not even going to mention Doctor Strange because he played his part. He done what he had to do. He's absorbed the Darkhold, which is interesting. He's now got a weird third eye.
But just to mention, I do think Benedict is like in his element with Doctor Strange now. He's played literally 3 different versions or 4. If you want to count the zombie version, technically, or
that was so badass. The zombie, come on. The zombie Doctor Strange was absolutely badass.
And that was pure Sam Raimi as well.
Exactly. If that's him doing the motion capture all in prosthetics or makeup, then that'd be classic. So
and the cape as well,
the cape of the damned and stuff like that.
Yeah, that is absolutely.
I just want to answer this point. So, did she create the children? So, in the comics, she does actually kind of create the children in the comics. In the comics, they had this thing going where if she wasn't thinking about the children would disappear because they were purely a figment of her imagination. But I think what they've tried to do in the live action is suggest that Wanda's actually plucked these children out of another universe.
Which is great because we didn't find that out until after when we start watching like the Loki series, because WandaVision was before Loki. So in WandaVision, it seems as if she just created that. It was all a figment of her imagination. But once Loki came about and we learn about the multiverse and time variance, realize that there are actually things that's happening in other universes, etc., that we are not capable, we're not really aware of. So it puts it into perspective now, about the multiverse, that she never really technically created them. She literally just pulled them from another universe.
I don't think she did, personally.
Oh, go on.
I know the way that they came about is obviously through Mephisto and blah blah blah, but I think she created them like she recreated Vision. Yeah, it hasn't really. I don't think it's really been explained well enough, because going into what Kay just said,
Yeah.
You don't see Vision's picture. You don't see Vision's picture when we went to 838. So there's all these pictures of Wonder and the kids. No Vision. Now, they could be divorced. Vision, or so on and so on. Do you know what I mean? We know that he's alive because he still has the Mind Stone, because of the fact that the Mind Stone wasn't in the gauntlet when the Illuminati fought Thanos. So for me, I don't think they plucked them out of the universes. There's always a Billy and I always forget Billy and Tommy or Wiccan and Speed in other universes. The Darko just told her, in my eyes, yeah, there's more. There's Billy and Tommy in other places. Go get them. Corrupted, basically, Wonder.
Okay, that's really good, actually. I never thought of that. That's actually... I like that, actually. I do like the explanation. But there's a story to be told. I do like the explanation. Yes, you do need to watch Loki. Go and watch it now. Actually, not now. Wait for us to finish, then go and watch it.
She has a lot of homework to do.
Huh?
She has a lot of homework to do. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely watch Loki. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, either way, I think they shouldn't have. They could have played this out longer in terms of the potential what it has in terms of Scarlet Witch, just in general. They could have played it out longer, because, again, like you said, technically it could be a case, like you said, that they want to kill all the Wonders in every universe, because even though the Darkhold is gone, the actual temple is still there. So it should be in every multiverse, even though you haven't got it. Remember, the book was only transcribed from the writings. So it means that you'll still have the original there.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, David. It's a good point. So yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. I mean, and we haven't barely talked about Doctor Strange, because actually Doctor Strange was the least interesting character in this movie, which isn't a dig at him or Benedict Cumberbatch at all. I just felt there were this movie was just a vehicle to tell a wider story about the MCU, I felt. Yeah. But one thing about Doctor Strange, I think, it was a good journey for him. He becomes a bit humbled by the end of it, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah,
and he becomes.
Has he been humbled? Because now that he's got the third eye,
good point.
Has he been humbled, or is he now gonna go down the path of other Doctor Stranges that's all read the?
I think he's now comfortable. He's comfortable knowing that he is the one, in terms of he knows everything. He's got the magic. He knows. He's happy with who he is. Because in that very last scene, the man's walking street like, yo, cool.
But it's when he's walking street, that's when it happened. Remember, he never had the third eye.
No. But then the second cut scene was when he met Clea. He was walking the street casual, like, but. He's already embraced the damned. He can use the damned because he made the cloak. So he is like, yeah, I've got the third eye. I'm now got the trifecta of power of all the powers and stuff like that. I can kick ass.
Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen with his third eye? I think David's right. There could be some element of corruption there, but what it does do is it is a way for the Darkhold book to come back. Even though the Darkhold book has been destroyed across all the multiverse, it still actually exists within Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so but not even just that, man. It exists like the actual. If they go to that same mountain, they can actually transcribe it again.
Kafon.
Kafon will make an appearance.
Yeah, so I think this is set. So, Iman, to answer your question, I think this is setting up Kafon to basically go for Doctor Strange to get all that Darkhold knowledge back, because that's what demons do.
Case put a very good point, actually.
And it will allow him to use dark magic, so we might see a slightly darker Doctor Strange. And
maybe he's going to be the big bad overall in the bigger picture of things.
Do you know something? I'm going to say what my brother said. I think we're going to have a multiversal war. I think that's what we're setting up.
And I've got a feeling that maybe Strange might be sacrificed. Might be. I don't think he should. Wanda, when she comes back, because she ain't dead.
She ain't dead.
Yeah? She ain't dead. Wanda and or White Vision might make a sacrifice. Because remember, Wanda's going to get a redemption arc, which is going to be personally very weird.
I said that to you, man. I said they're gonna, they should just bring her back for like a little one scene in like one of these upcoming movies. Maybe like not right now, maybe in the next year or so.
It'll be longer than that. But then again, Loki had a redemption arc as well, so it's possible. So there's go on, man. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say, like, I think I agree with my brother here. Wong is a badass Sorcerer Supreme. I'd love to see Wong get his own show, actually. I think it would be amazing. Like a show.
I thought he was pretty average. He seemed less powerful than what I expected. I mean,
Wong's a cool dude.
No, he's cool. I love the character Wong, but I just think that for him to be the Sorcerer Supreme, he should have been more OP'd.
He's Sorcerer Supreme because Doctor Strange was blipped.
Yeah.
There you go. So
by
default,
he's Sorcerer Supreme, and he hasn't renounced the title. Am I using the right term?
Yeah, and Wong has more of the emotional stability to be the Sorcerer Supreme than Doctor Strange does.
Yeah, because he does things more by the book, whereas Doctor Strange is more freelance. He'll just do what he needs to.
Do you think he will lean more on the Darkhold? Perhaps a darker Doctor Strange movie ahead. Yeah,
that's what I said.
I think so. I think as well. I think we saw in this movie how there were parts of it which were a horror movie, which was actually one of the horror scenes were good, but I think it affected the flow of the movie because I thought there were points when you didn't quite know what type of movie it wanted to be. But I think this movie, even though it's had criticism, it has done well in the box office, and I think the producers may well head towards a darker version if they do a Doctor Strange 3.
Yeah, but I think what they need to do, Kevin Feige and the rest of them, they need to slow down. Kane said I need to bow to Wong. I like Wong. I just think he needs to get more powers, but I think going forward, I think not that they're gonna, but they should see our stream. I think Kevin Feige and co needs to slow down when they make. I think because they're putting out so much product, they're starting off great with a lot of them, and then some of the endings are less desirable than what's expected. So I think they need to start slowing down and just go back to keeping things on the same level as what they were, because they're upsy downsy. I mean, these last two films hasn't been that great in terms of this was okay. This and Morbius was horrible. Spider-Man was amazing. We need that consistency of just keeping them great.
Don't connect Morbius with Spider-Man. Don't.
Well, it's a Marvel movie. So...
No. Morbius is not a Marvel movie.
Oh, it's not a MCU because it's Sony, but it's still Marvel. You can't distance it. You can't say, remember the man shouted in there, I am Venom.
Listen, it's in association with Marvel. It's not, in my eyes, it's not Marvel Studios.
Cool, right. I think we've exhausted Doctor Strange as best we can.
I've got one other question, though. Yep. Young Avengers.
Yeah, I can sign up for them. I'm 41. I think I would make a very good Young Avenger.
Yes, you could possibly just dye your hair a bit more and stuff. Obviously, it's leading to it. We've got Chavez, we've got Kate Bishop. Wiccan and Speed, who will probably be older from a different universe. Just want to put that out there for memory. Cassie Lang eventually in Ant-Man and
Quantumania.
Quantumania. Ant-Man, Wasp, and Quantumania.
It's 5 Young Avengers.
I think have I missed any?
Are they going to fit?
Patriot, but we need more.
Hold on. Ain't finished. I'm in the flow, Davey. Calm down. Know your place.
Interruption.
Possibly Hulkling possibly should come in Secret Invasion if they do it right. I may be expecting a bit more, but from the way I think Secret Invasion is going, it's a flip. It's a flip. Instead of it being Skrulls infiltrating, I think it's going to be Kree infiltrating. I can see the fact that the Young Avengers is coming.
What about Riri Williams?
I would say I will put Riri instead of Iron Lad. You're right there, because Iron Lad is Kang and it gets a bit messy.
Well, that will link onto the Kang stories as well.
Exactly. Yeah, and it gets a bit messy. But yeah, and Riri. So Young Avengers pending.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting point.
That would probably be Phase 5, if anything.
I'll stream about Young Avengers if you want.
Oh, I've got control. Who knows? Maybe potentially.
Let's do that. Let's go through a few comments before we go. Iman, I don't know if Spider-Man was actually amazing. It was decent, but didn't rock my world.
I loved Spider-Man. I thought Spider-Man was awesome.
Yeah, she didn't watch the others.
Oh,
sorry to snitch on you. She didn't watch the others.
See, so what Mr.
This is a snitch-free environment. You can snitch all you like.
Indeed. So I think what Dowdy's basically saying, because he didn't watch those other movies, he's not going to take your opinion on board, Iman. Bang out.
Don't get in trouble.
Yeah, sometimes, Iman.
Yeah, I read his mind. That's what he actually said. He says your opinion doesn't mean beep, beep, beep.
Yep.
You know?
Bang out of order. No, that's the wrong person. He's bang out of order.
Proper.
Multi-dimensional young. That's actually a good point. We could have Young Avengers picks from lots of different universes.
Definitely 2 of them in my eyes. Definitely 2 of them.
Yeah, but then we can't do that because that's going to possibly cause an incursion. You can't have people just jumping from universe, teaming up and all sorts there. You can't do that.
Well, incursions happen already. Doctor Strange caused one.
Yep, and we saw the consequences of that. That world looked a mess.
Yeah. God. Yeah. We could have Sky instead of Hulkling.
You know what? Could.
Potentially. Yeah, so I think we're done. The next Marvel show coming up is Miss Marvel.
Yes.
And the next movie coming up is
when is Miss Marvel? What month is that one?
I think it's next month.
June.
I think it's June.
Because Thor is July.
I think it's June. Don't quote me on that one, by the way. Don't quote me.
Yeah, but yeah, so we'll be streaming for Miss Marvel. I'll be doing a Obi-Wan Kenobi stream.
He's very boisterous. He put Davey P with all caps. All caps. That's just tick typing away, shouting.
You've obviously upset the Oracle. How dare you? Okay, I am going to say goodbye to everybody, and thanks for tuning in. And
your Uber Eats has arrived.
Hi guys, take it easy. Cheers.
Yes.